What's up guys, Balloon Duelist here, and today I'm going to be showing you guys my Crusadia Invoked deck profile. This is a deck that I put together an hour before one of my locals, and it actually performed very well. So I decided to bring the deck profile to you guys. If you guys like the video, be sure to leave a like down below and subscribe, because it only helps the channel grow strong. So without further ado, let's get into the deck. Of course, starting off, run 3, Alistair the Invoker. Alistair the Invoker has the effect on normal summon, to add a invocation from your deck to your hand. And he also has the quick effect that you can send him from your hand to the graveyard, target a fusion monster you control, and it gains 1,000 attack and defense. Up next, run 3, Parallel Exceed. Parallel Exceed helps you with some rank 4 plays and also triggers the Crusadia Link monster's effects. For the Crusadias, run 2 Maximus. They all have the effect to special summon into themselves to his own a Link monster points to, but they all also have their own one-off effects. Maximus can target a Crusadia monster you control, and it does double damage for the turn. Crusadia Arborea has the effect when a Crusadia monster you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish her from field or grave instead. Draco has the effect of when he's special summoned to add a Crusadia monster from grave to hand. This can let you recycle the ones whose effects you have not used, because their summoning effects are once per turn. Reclusia has the effect to target a Crusadia card you control, and one monster your opponent, a card your opponent controls, destroy them both. Run 2 Leonis. I only had one, but I figured out how good he actually is, because he has the effect to target a Crusadia monster you control, and if it attacks a defense position monster this turn, it inflicts piercing battle damage. I had a few games where this came up very often, so it's just something that I would like to change for the deck, but I currently only have one. But last monster, you run 1 Dino Wrestler Pancratops. He can help you with the OTK, he helps you clear up your opponent's board, and if you need him, he can also be one of the monsters that Equimax points to make Equimax gain more attack. That's it for the main deck monsters. On to the spells. You run 3, Magical Meltdown. Magical Meltdown adds in Alistair the Invoker from deck to hand on activation, and also your opponent cannot negate the activation of any cards that includes the effect to fusion summon, which means they cannot stop your 2 Invocation or 2 Book of the Law. Invocation lets you fusion summon a monster from your extra deck using monsters from hand, but if you're going to summon an invoked monster, you can use monsters from field or either player's grave. Book of the Law says that you contribute a invoked monster you control, special summon 1 invoked monster from your extra deck with a different original attribute, and then special summon it. Up next, for the one-ofs, let me get this out of the way, sorry. For the one-ofs, run 1 Crusadia Revival. Crusadia Revival says your Crusadia Link monsters gain 500 attack, and also, once per turn, you can target a Crusadia Link, and it can attack all monsters your opponent controls. And other monsters that you control cannot attack that turn. So this is used for when you have Equimax at very high attack value, you could just swing into everything and go for game. 1 Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is used to stop your opponent's hand traps. Crusadia Power. This makes your Crusadia Link monster unaffected by your opponent's cards, which will be targeting your Equimax, of course. 1 Terraforming for your Magical Meltdown. Reinforcements of the Army to add Arborea, because it's another way to get an extender. Foolish Burial. This came up very often, actually, where I had to Foolish Burial a Alistair because I had an Invocation in hand, but no Alistair. Set Rotation lets you get either one of your field spells that you need. Monster Reborn, an extender. Instant Fusion can summon out any of your lower invoked level invoked fusions and use it with Book of the Law to get something bigger on the field. And for Recycling Power, Pot of Avarice, I have found myself using this to recycle the small Crusadia Link engine that you run, where I had it on board, used it, I needed more resources, used this to get it back, and I used it again next turn. That's it for the spells. Onto the traps. You run the Solemn Brigade, you run 3 Solemn Strike, and 3 Solemn Judgment. Pretty explanatory. If you're forced to go first, you see one of these, just an extra negate that you can set up alongside Mechaba and Equimax. That's it for the main deck. On to the extra deck. You run 2 Invoked Mechaba. Invoked Mechaba has the effect, when a spell, trap, or a monster effect is activated, you can send a card from your hand to the grave of the same type, being spell, trap, or monster, and negate it, and instead of destroying it, you banish it. 1 Megalancia, he has no effect, but he's a big beater that normally you would have Equimax pointing to, so it gets Equimax more attack. 1, I still don't know how to pronounce this guy's name, sorry, but he has the effect when he's special summoned or a monster is special summoned to your opponent's field, you could target a card on the field, destroy it. And then once per turn, you can banish a fusion monster from your graveyard and he gains the attack of that monster. So this can also be used just using him for an OTK, or if you want to do some combos, have Equimax pointing to him, use his effect, banish a guy, Equimax gains the attack as well. 1 Purgatrio, because you do run fires, you can use Purgatrio to go for game. If you can't get into Equimax, Purgatrio can just attack everything that they have and inflict piercing battle damage. 1 Invoked Cocytus, because you have waters as well, you have all the attributes. He says that you can, he's unaffected, can't be destroyed, by your opponent's card effects, and when he's in defense position, he can attack your opponent using his attack value. 1 Invoked Raijin has the effect to flip monsters that your opponent controls face down. Well, either player controls, really, but you're primarily going to use it on your opponent. Unless you instant fusion him out and you just want to keep him on board, you can use his effect, flip him face down, and he's protected from instant fusion's destruction. Invoked Kaliga. Invoked Kaliga says that each player basically can use 1 monster effect a turn, and also they can only attack with 1 monster a turn. That's it for your fusions. On to your links. I run 2 Salamangreat Almirage. I have found myself going into this more than once, so that's the reason why I settled on 2. And normally, if you don't see a Crusadia monster, you're going to be linking that into your Secure Gardena. These monsters' effects don't matter. It's just that they're easy link material that you could use for the fusion summons as well. Onto your Crusadia package. I run 1 Crusadia Magius. He has the effect that he gains attack equal to the attack of monsters he points to, and they cannot attack. And also, if an effect monster is special summoned to the zone he points to, you can add a Crusadia card from a monster from deck to hand. This normally is going to add your Draco or something, summon it to a zone that he link into Reclusia, who is the next, then summon the guy to zone Regulax points to. And Regulax has the effect that, of course, he gains the attack equal to the monsters he points to, but also if a monster is special summoned to a zone he points to, you can add a Crusadia spell or trap from your deck to your hand. So this is going to be adding your field spell or Crusadia power if you already have the field spell. For your last Crusadia, I run 1 Crusadia Equimax, of course, the boss monster. He gains attack equal to the original attack of... the original attack of all monsters that he points to, and then this also includes your opponent's monster if they summon to a zone he points to. And you contribute, he also has the quick effect, you contribute a Crusadia monster that he points to, or a World Legacy monster, and then target a face-up card that your opponent controls and negates the effects until the end of the turn, but that's it for your Crusadia package. Last but not least, you run 1 Abyss Dweller. Abyss Dweller is used for your Parallel Exceed, stops most Grave-reliant decks. There's really no reason to discuss this card. But that's it for the extra deck. So let's get in some combos, I guess. For the first combo I'm going to be showing you, it's just going to be any 2 Crusadia monsters. These could be any 2. I'm just showing you what it would do with the 2 really least effective ones. But you're going to normal summon one of them, link it off into your Magius. Gotta find them. Into your Magius. Use the other one's effect to special summon to a zone that Magius points to. Magius activates to add you a Crusadia monster from deck to hand. You are going to want to add Draco off of this, because then you're going to link these 2 into your Crusadia Regulax. You use Draco's effect to summon to a zone that Regulax points to. Regulax triggers to add you a Crusadia card. You're going to add the field spell, or if you're going first, you're going to add, instead of the field spell, you add your Crusadia power so that your opponent can't just remove the Equimax that easily. But let's say if you're going second, you add the field spell. You can activate the field spell if you feel like it, or just wait till the end. But Draco will also be adding back your Reclusia from grave to hand. Now you link these two into your boss monster, Crusadia Equimax. Then you could use the effect of the one that you have in hand because you have not special summoned it with its own effect this turn to summon it to a zone that Equimax points to. So then Equimax is gaining the attack of this one, which is only 400, not much. The Revival is going to be giving it an extra 500 as well. And then you could use Revival on Equimax, attack all monsters your opponent controls, and he also has a negate by sending the Reclusia to the grave. Now for this next combo, it can be done with Alistair the Invoker, or if you just have Magical Meltdown. Alistair the Invoker or Magical Meltdown, plus any two of these few cards. So for example, let's say Leonis and the Arborea. Why not? So this is your starting hand. Let's say we're going first. Normal summon Alistair and use the effect to add the invocation. You would now link the Alistair into your Almirage. And then instead of linking the Almirage into the, instead of going into Secure Gardena, you're going to use one of your effects, let's say Arborea, to summon to a zone that Almirage points to. Then we're going to link these two into your Reclusia. Then you're going to use the Leonis effect to summon to zone Reclusia points to. Reclusia is going to then activate and add you your field spell. Well, if you're going second, field spell, first, power. Let's say we're going first, we're adding power. So you get the power, then you link these two into your Crusadia Equimax. Now you use the invocation, banishing Alistair plus the Reclusia to be able to get yourself a Mechaba. And then you can use the invocation, use invocation's effect in grave, adding Alistair back to hand, and then shuffling it away into the deck. So, it's not that big of a board, of course, but you have Mechaba with a spell and a monster negate, guaranteed. And then Equimax is also gaining attack equal to Mechaba's. So that means you have a 4,500 Equimax and a 2,500 Mechaba, which you can power up with Alistair the Invoker if needed, or you could just use this effect to negate a monster or a spell. So that's pretty much going to be it for the deck profile, guys. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed it, leave a like and subscribe because it only helps the channel grow strong. See you guys.